Hello and welcome to Storytime. Here at Storytime, we read stories for parents and their children. And at the end, we share valuable life lessons learned from the story. In today's story, we ask the important question, which is more important? Do you want principle or do you want peace? Welcome back to Storytime with Miss Dymond. I am Miss Dymond, and I'm excited to bring you today's episode. In this episode, we are reading the story of The Wild Goats, which asks us to decide which is more important. Do you want principle or do you want peace? It's all about compromise and choosing your battles. Before we get started, hit the subscribe button and then click on the notification bell so you can be notified when more Storytime episodes are ready for your review. Are you ready? Let's get started. Today's vocabulary word is compromise. This is an interesting story of a battle here. So the word compromise definitely comes into play, and it is a way of resolving a dispute where both sides give up something. Okay, so with that, let's read about the wild goats. Once upon a time, two wild goats were walking towards their homes, which happened to be on the opposite sides of the forest. They came upon a river, which was spanned by a rickety mud bridge. Due to recent heavy rains, the river was flowing rapidly and the bridge had become weak. It could only let one goat pass at a time. The first goat started at one end, and the second goat started at the other end of the bridge. They reached the middle of the bridge at the same time. They stood face to face with each other. The first goat said, "Go back, so that I can cross first. You can cross after me." The second goat says, "No way, I came first, so you go back." And then they started fighting in the middle of the bridge. The first goat yelled, "Stop fighting, or the bridge will collapse and you won't be able to go home today." The second one yelled, "You are the one fighting. I would have crossed the bridge by now had you backed off." And the fight continued. They gored and forcefully pushed each other with their horns. As they fought, the bridge creaked and groaned, and then it gave way. The bridge collapsed, and the wild goats fell into the river. They were both swept away. Had they compromised and cooperated peacefully, they both would have reached home. Alrighty, so as we do, let's review this story and see what happens. It was just after a lot of rain, so the river was very high, and there was a bridge going over the river. You have goat A and goat B. Now, interesting thing about the goats, I'm a Capricorn. The goats are our animal symbol, so I guess I know a little bit about that determination and stubborn behavior. And oftentimes it does come because you want to stand on principle. Like, principally, this is right. This feels right to me, and I don't want to compromise my principle. So oftentimes the stubbornness, well, I can speak from the Capricorn point of view, comes because you feel in principle this is really right or correct. And that's what you have here. You have two goats who, let's say, on this bridge, they were both standing on either end, and they begin to cross, okay? So, considering you can't see the other side, perhaps, they both feel in principle they are right. They're first. They're the first ones to arrive. So you, other goat, move. But the truth of the matter is, this is a very narrow bridge. And it's an old rickety bridge. So if no one moves, if neither goat moves out of the way, and they keep struggling like this, they're both going to go down. So that begs the question, which is more important to you? Do you want to have peace and just make it to the other side of the bridge? Or do you want to stand there on principle and fight and keep bucking because in principle you are correct? Well, that's the question that these goats have to answer. And obviously we can see that these goats made the wrong decision because they just kept battling it out rather than taking a step back and saying, I could win this battle or I could win the war by making it home tonight. So we got that. What they did not do was compromise, which was, hey, both sides give a little bit, but in the end we both win. That's the win-win scenario. How does this apply to us as adults? So many ways. Oftentimes we do want to stand on principle or something that we know to be true. And we want to win this round. And this round could be a battle that you're in with anyone, even a battle that you may be in with something. But wisdom, which is interwoven throughout so many of these fables, says that you look beyond your current moment and make a decision that's going to help you in the long run. Something that's going to help you make your way home. And home may not necessarily be the next stop, but it's that long-term plan on the horizon. You want to make it home. You want to make it to the place where it's comfortable, to the place where it's easier, to the place where you feel welcome, you are loved. You want to make it there. Home is that long-term goal. So sometimes in order to do that, you just may have to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm not going to win this battle, but I do want to make it home tonight, so you go first. Coworker, I don't have time to argue with you today. My review is coming up next week. Let's just agree to disagree. I'm going to do the project this way and you do your project your way. Spouse, we have been round and round on this issue before. I really don't see it this way. Or I don't see it your way. I really see it this way. But it's not worth another argument because every time we get in these arguments, it leads to something else. And I just want to sleep peacefully in my home tonight. So have it your way. Or let's just agree to disagree. Or maybe we can compromise in some way. We both give up a little something, but we can sleep peacefully tonight in our home. So that's the message of the wild goats. Don't be like the wild goats. Don't sit there and keep battling it out because of principle. Because in the end, it really doesn't matter who got to that spot on the bridge first. The bigger point is that the bridge is going to collapse, if you keep fighting and battling it out. So, compromise, see the bigger picture, and make your way home peacefully. And that's it for today's story time. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you will see when the next episode is ready for you review. Please leave a comment that lets me know that there is someone out there watching. I love you so very much. Thank you for being here and see you on the next episode of Storytime with Miss Dymond. Bye-bye.